Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today is the top 5 best instant respawn farms that you can do right now. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay guys, so today let's cover the best instant respawn farms, starting at number 1. At number 1 we have the DESOLACE farm. Now this one is located on the screen right now, and this one provides you with a load of low tier transmog and somewhat medium end transmog. But by what I mean with this is pretty much they're ones that are worth considerably a lot less than the big ticket ones, so to speak. So I give them a spectrum of high, medium and low. So these ones are fast sellers, so to speak, but they sell for a lot less gold. So just so you understand that, we can move forward onto the DESOLACE farm. With the DESOLACE farm, all you really need to do is just kill the surrounding creatures in the vicinity. With the DESOLACE farm, it is comprised of Naga. The Naga are pretty easy to take out. These can be either used by tagging, such as I will use my Moonfire, or if I want to pull them closer, Soothe, and or if you are using another class such as preferably a monk, you can place your ox statue down and gather up all of the mobs. This makes it a great instant respawn farm if you are using a monk, or pretty much all the time a monk is probably the best way of doing an instant respawn farm. Now with the low tier transmog that you get off of this, you also receive a load of different types of cloth and or baseline materials, so to speak, and you can sell those on for a decent amount of gold. Now as this is a transmog farm, the gold per hour does fluctuate, so to speak, due to RNG. This is why I'm not going to give a gold value per hour, as pretty much this one will be up in the air because of the high RNG that comes along with this. You do gain some medium end transmogs, and along with that you can also have the slight chance of getting a high ticket one, but the real focus on this transmog farm is more to the point the low and medium end transmogs if you are wanting to bulk out your auction house. Now doing a couple of hours on this farm, you will be able to have enough to actually do a sizable increase on your auction house and then be able to get some regular sales coming in. Now obviously this does depend on the amount of volume of different types of transmog that you're actually selling. So the DESOLACE farm is a top-notch farming spot if you're wanting to pad out and bulk out your auction house and gain a steady income off of transmog. Being the case, let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is located in Draenor, and this is in NAGRAND. Now shown on the map right now is the spot on which you want to go. You'll be killing the cleft hoofs around this area, and preferably you will want to pick a monk. Placing an ox round near the vicinity of the area will tag near on all of these cleft hoofs. These cleft hoofs actually are on a respawn timer that is linked with them all dying. So the more you kill, the more that will respawn. Now this farm is particularly best because it drops a crafted material, or a crafting material, so to speak. This is the Sumptuous Fur, which is the Warlords of Draenor version cloth of the expansion. Now this can be used in multiple different ways in order to make gold, but most preferably is just selling it flat out on the auction house. You are able to craft it into other things and then sell that on the auction house, but preferably for myself, I usually just sell the Sumptuous Fur. You do gain some Warlords of Draenor transmog pieces that you can also sell on the auction house as well, and I would keep your loot appraiser on for this farm just to see if anything amazing comes up, which it has the high probability of happening as you are in one of the high leveled zones. We're looking at around about 10 to 15,000 gold per hour. Not the most amazing gold farm of the century, but at the end of the day it is a farm that you could do consistently for hours and hours on end and do little to no effort in order to do. This is why it's such an amazing farm, because you could literally spend the majority of your day farming this stuff up and using, I don't know, a looterang, which is Warlords of Draenor specific, where you can just click like your 2 button or any other button that is easily accessible to loot up all of the mobs. All you really need to do is just make sure you keep killing them and resetting your Ox statue. Now, at the end of the day, the gold per hour does vary on the amount of Sumptuous Fur and Transmog pieces that you pick up, but it is roughly around about 10,000 to 15,000 gold on average. Now, this one is preferably one of my most favourite farms, and I do think that is worth your time in order to do if you are pretty much a lazy gold farmer. And to be honest, if you're looking at instant respawn farms, the most common thing is, how do I get a lot of stuff with not using a lot of effort? So Sumptuous Fur Farm, definitely worth your time if you just want to make easy, lazy gold. But that being the case, let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is located in the Burning Steppes, and this one is a high to medium end transmog farming zone. Now, due to the fact that it drops a lot of rune cloth and or a load of the other different types of base crafting materials, it also drops a high amount of transmog. These mobs are in packs of 4, which are located on the map right now. All you really need to do is go over to these massive packs of mobs and just burn them down, kill them, loot them, fly over to the other one, and by the time you've done the entire round, the next load of those mobs will have reset. This one isn't really a standing leave on your own transmog farm, but if you keep moving, you will always have mobs to kill. This provides you with a lot of different types of gold and or the high ticket items for transmog that actually drop from vanilla. Now, this farm is totally RNG based, and it is based off of the same as the DESOLACE farm, so the gold per hour does vary substantially, but in my case it's usually around about 18,000 to 22,000 gold per hour, and this one will help pad out the auction house with your medium to high end transmog items. So you could do a couple of hours with the DESOLACE farm, and you could do a couple of hours with the Burning Steppes farm, and with that you will have a wide spectrum of different types of transmogs you can sell on the auction house. That being the case, let's just move into number 4. Number 4 is the MECHAGON Flowers farm, and this is more or less a instant respawn farm. This one is located on MECHAGON obviously, and it is located right about here on the map. Now, at the end of the day, this one is going to require you to have a group in order to do. This actually does provide you with a decent amount of different types of items and or different types of crafting materials. Along with that, if you are bringing a herbalist along with you, these flowers can actually be herbed in order to gain more gold per hour. This does provide you with a baseline amount of different types of herbs and or crafting materials, along with different types of transmog, and with the high amount of respawn times, this will actually provide you with a lot of gold during your actual farm. Now, this one is one of the newest farms, so the gold per hour is still very much up in the air. I've done a couple of times, a couple of hours on this farm, and I actually do think it's actually much more better than things like the DESOLACE farm, as I was able to gain quite a lot of different types of items which I was able to sell on the auction house. That being the case, let's move on to the best one at number 1. Number 1 is the Coral Reef farm, and this one is located in Nazjatar. The Coral Reef is an actual place in Nazjatar, and on the map right now is the exact spot. This spot can actually be farmed up by just killing all of the Naga around there, and they drop a lot of gilded seaweave. This cloth can be sold in the auction house for a fairly decent price. Along with that, it can drop BOE epics, blues and greens. These can be sold on the auction house for additional profit, and along with that, much like the Burning Steppes farm, they all respawn once every single one of them are dead. Now, people are using a lot of 2x4 farms for this, and such as the MECHAGON Flower Farm, you're going to need to get into a 2x4 group. These farms are pretty much kind of easy to actually find, as all you have to do is just go into a group finder and search 2x4. This will provide you with the group, or if a group is not up, create one, and you will more than likely set up your group within the next 5 to 10 minutes. This farming location is highly contested though, so I would recommend double checking who's actually farming up this area first and seeing if you can get in on it, or if not, try and find another group. This provides you with so much of the new materials and or the new different types of items which you can sell on the auction house for pretty much a decent amount of gold per hour. I was able to farm up around about 30,000 gold on average, and that was pretty damn good if I do say so myself. Now, I've seen other people saying that's around about 50 to 100k per hour, but for me farming this up, I was only averaging around about 30,000 gold per hour in a 2x4 group. Now, that being the case, that is still a very, very viable farm. Now, if you were able to get hold of any of the BOE epics, you will obviously make a hella ton more. But other than that, it is usually around about 30,000 gold per hour when you're doing this farm. That being the case, guys, that is pretty much all I have to say for the day. That is the 5 best instant respawn farms that you can do this second right now. Other than that, guys, have a lovely rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be on Wednesday. Take it easy, guys.